This is a table which relates to the day of the defeat, which is in Arabic known as the day of the naksah. Now this is a day which they keep every year on the 5th of June, which is the date of the great victory of the Sixth War. And definitely they claim that the land was taken from them, so they demonstrate. And this year, really, Sunday, the 5th of June, they are going to make big demonstrations all over to try to go into the border. So let us see where this expression, Yom HaNachsa, the day of defeat, appears in the Torah, and what are the teachings behind this table. So this is the table that we are going to see just now. So the table that you see here is the following. You can see here the word naksah. Now perhaps important to emphasize that one letter skip of Yom HaNachsa does not appear. So therefore we look for the word naksah together with related words, like in this case definitely Ishmael, the Arabs who are doing it. So what we see here is the following. So you have naksah, and before we have the days Yemei. As you can see here, Yemei, the days of naksah. It means that the word Yemei, the days of naksah, appears here, and the place is interesting because this is the Aleph, is the first book, which is Genesis, and you have the chapter, which is chapter Yud, and the verse Yud Gimal. So in fact, you have here exactly the details, the verses in Genesis where it goes from chapter 10 up till chapter 18. So this is a place, but what is written there, this is the most interesting. So the most interesting is that this is a place in the Torah when God said to Abraham that I will give you the land and I will fulfill the covenant, as you can see written clearly. Yitzchak, this refers to Isaac, the son of Abraham. God says to Abraham that with your son Isaac, Vakimoti et Briti, I will establish my covenant with him and with his children. And then you can see also here written clearly that I will give a 10 at Briti, my covenant I will give. Again is written to your children, and the land definitely will be given to you. Now these clearly are promises that even though Ishmael, as you can say his name Ishmael, was the son of Abraham, but God said, don't worry. In fact, the promise, the covenant I will do with Isaac, your son, he will get the son, the land, and his children after him. Now, what is interesting here, that you have here the word Ulishmael Shmaticha, and to Ishmael I listen to you. We know that Abraham asked God to bless Ishmael, the father of the Arabs, and God said, okay, I will bless him, and this is what God said, Ulishmael Shmaticha, what you asked me about Ishmael, I heard about Ishmael, and really I will bless him. And in fact, Kabbalah, the Zohar says that this blessing that the Arabs got, Ishmael, is really brought a lot of troubles from the Arabs to Jews up till the time of Messiah. The Zohar says very interestingly that the minister, the heavenly minister of the Arabs in heaven claimed that they deserve also the land as God promised the land to this one who keeps the Brit, the covenant. And they also are circumcised. Yeah, circumcision is a Brit. So God answered to him, yes, you are right, they are doing circumcision, but their circumcision is not full one. It's not with sanctity, they don't do it fully. Therefore, they will get Israel only when it is really empty. But when Jews will come back, they will have to give back the land to the Jews. So, what we see here is interesting, as this is really this verse is a source of all the problems that we have from the Arabs. And one of the problems is these days of naksah, of the defeat, which they are causing lots of problems in that day to the Jews, demonstration and so on. Now, if you remember in the other table that we had about the conflict between Israel and Ishmael, about Jerusalem, it came exactly on the same place. So we see clearly that the source of the problems that we have today are really much deeper than what people think. So it is not political, it is much, much higher, much, much deeper, and therefore the solution also will be when we keep the Torah and Mitzvot, as God said here to Abraham. Now, we see also Asaph, the PLO, coming here. You see the Philistines, because it's written that all those who lived in the same places, like Gaza and with the Philistines in the past were living, are connected with them. So Philistines and Asaph and Patach, definitely Patach, all those who are causing those problems to the Jews in Israel. Now what is interesting that you have here, if you can follow properly, you have Be, Taf, Shin, Ayin, Aleph. Be, Taf, Shin, Ayin, Aleph, crossing, which is, by the way, the minimal appearance in Bereshis. Amazingly, indicating to this year, in fact, this coming Sunday, that the problems, the demonstration will take place on the day of the naksah, right? And PLO and Patach will come to demonstrate against Israel. But what is amazing in this table, that it comes exactly in this part which is written Ishmael Shmaticha, and this is the best meeting, by the way, of Ishmael and the naksah, and telling us that all these problems are as a result of these blessings that Ishmael got, and what the answer is that only Israel will do tshuva, will keep the Torah properly, and the covenant properly, then God will promise, as he said, the promise which he said to give the land to Isaac, and so on, everything will be fulfilled.